In this video, I'd like to bring a few fixes to the scripts that we ended up with at the end of this chapter. The first thing that I wanted to point out, if you download the final project, you've probably already noticed those fixes here. But remember that I was using here in the onInspector GUI method, I was using this to actually prevent the error that we got when we created a new track in the inspector. And in fact, I realized that initializing this list here at the very beginning simply gets rid of this error, and it's actually much simpler to do it this way. Another thing that I want to point out, and that is actually been brought to my attention by one of the students here on Udemy, so thanks to John, who actually pointed out that seconds per beat and beats per second are actually swapped. So even though we use them in the right places, in the proper places, which says that it works properly, the meaning that the carry is actually swapped. And if we think about it, like beats per second is actually how many beats in a second. So it's not 60 divided by the number of bits per minute, but it's the number of bits per minute divided by 60, and vice versa. Seconds per bit is actually the other way around. If it was the value that was actually reversed, then I would simply change the assignment here, and that would be pretty simple. But the thing is that there, it's just the name of the variable, so everything is fine, but the name of those variables and accessors are actually misleading. So we want to rename this. And so to do this, what I'm going to do here is to use one of the feature that is pretty powerful in MonoDevelop that's called refactor. So I can right click on this and go and say rename. When you do this on something that is actually private or that is within this class, so for example, if I was to do this on the instance, then I would get this. I would get a simple rename, because this does not exist and cannot exist simply because it's private. So it cannot exist anywhere else in another class. And then I can just simply rename this, and it's going to rename all the occurrences of this this name. But there, what's a little different is that this is probably used somewhere else, and it actually is. We know that it's used in the track view where we use it here as seconds per beat here. So what we can do here is, I'm actually going to close this file here. And what we can do here is then simply highlight this and then simply go and say rename. And when I do this, then instead of just renaming all the occurrences within the file, it's going to pop up this dialog where I can change the name. And there, what I'm going to do here is then, if I change the name for bits per second, then I would end up with two properties bearing the same name, and then I could no longer rename the other one. So what I'm going to do here for now is simply add an underscore to this one, and I'm also going to copy this. And then I'm going to say, okay, now I can do this here. I'm going to go and do rename. And then I'm going to rename this to seconds per beat, like that. And then now I can go and rename the other one and rename it as beats per second, like this. And then it's going to rename this everywhere in the file, but actually everywhere in the solution. So if I open the track view again, then now we can see that where I had seconds per beat, I now have beats per second instead. And this is why I closed the file before I would do it, because if I did it with the file open, it would actually have done it, but then very often you want to have it not have to save the file that it's changed. So if I had done it like, actually I can do it just to demo the purpose here. If I do this here like this, and I rename this with like a couple of underscores behind, what you can see here is that it's changed this file, but it hasn't saved it. So if I now go back in Unity editor, very often you'll end up with an error because you saved the file that you've modified, but you didn't save all the other files that it's modified automatically. So, and also one nice thing is that you can actually do this in any file. So you do not have to do this in this file here. You can also do it there. So there I can simply go and say rename and then remove the underscores, and then it's going to do it the other way around. So this is a very powerful feature that I wanted to show here in this video. And so again, thanks to John who actually pointed this out. It was my mistake, so it's now fixed, and I will update also the files of the final project and the files of the other chapters of this training as well. So as always, thank you very much for your feedback, and thanks for watching.